Right now, I want you to hear this clearly. Fear cannot win, not in your mind, not in your home, not in your future, because Psalm 27 declares a truth that still stands today. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the stronghold of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? This is not just ancient poetry. This is a battle cry for anyone who feels surrounded, overwhelmed, or uncertain. When darkness tries to close in, God says, I am your light. When confusion clouds your thoughts, He says, I am your clarity. When you feel exposed and vulnerable, He says, I am your stronghold, a fortified place where the enemy cannot break through. Fear speaks loudly. It paints worst-case scenarios. It whispers, what if? What if you fail? What if you lose? What if things never change? But faith answers back with who? Who shall I fear if the Lord Himself stands with me? David wrote this psalm during times of real danger. Enemies were not imaginary. Threats were not exaggerated. Yet, he stood firm and declared confidence. Because courage is not the absence of danger. It is the presence of God in the middle of it. When the wicked advance against me to devour me, it is my enemies and my foes who will stumble and fall. Notice the confidence in that statement. Not arrogance, but assurance. When God is your defender, the outcome is already determined. Though an army besiege me, my heart will not fear. Though war break out against me, even then I will be confident. This is the mindset heaven invites you into. Not denial of reality, but defiance of fear. You may be facing financial pressure, health concerns, family tension, or private battles no one else sees. And it can feel like an army is encamped around you. But Psalm 27 reminds you that the size of the battle does not compare to the strength of your God. One thing I ask from the Lord, this only do I seek, that I may dwell in the house of the Lord all the days of my life, to gaze on the beauty of the Lord and to seek Him in His temple. In other words, focus changes everything. When your attention shifts from the threat to the presence of God, fear begins to lose its grip, because what you magnify determines what masters you. For in the day of trouble, He will keep me safe in His dwelling. He will hide me in the shelter of His sacred tent and set me high upon a rock. Picture that security, lifted above the chaos, hidden in divine covering, placed on solid ground while everything else shakes. That is what God offers His children, not a life without storms, but a position above them. Then my head will be exalted above the enemies who surround me. At His sacred tent I will sacrifice with shouts of joy. I will sing and make music to the Lord. Praise becomes a weapon. Worship becomes resistance. When you choose to thank God in the middle of uncertainty, you declare that fear does not control you. Hear my voice when I call, Lord. Be merciful to me and answer me. My heart says of you, seek His face, your face, Lord, I will seek. This is relationship, not religion. Fear weakens when intimacy with God strengthens. When you spend time in His presence, your spirit remembers who fights for you. Even if my father and mother forsake me, the Lord will receive me. That means no rejection, no abandonment, no human disappointment can override divine acceptance. Wait for the Lord. Be strong and take heart and wait for the Lord. Waiting is not weakness. It is trust in motion. It is believing that God is working even when you cannot see immediate results. Today, this is your reminder. Fear cannot win because it does not have final authority. God does. Fear shouts, but God speaks with power. Fear predicts defeat, but God promises victory. Fear says you are alone, but God says I am with you. So stand firm. Lift your head. Declare Psalm 27 over your life. The Lord is my light. The Lord is my salvation. The Lord is the stronghold of my life. And because of that unshakable truth, fear cannot win.